Okay, I want to show you now if you're building your clock face and you want to rotate your numerals or symbols or whatever around that central axis, which would be this right here. This is where the clock hands are going to come out. I'm going to show you a real simple way to get that divided into really equal increments. So I'm going to use the rotate tool, and this will be my center axis. So what I will do is here I'm just going to create any kind of symbol. It doesn't make any difference what it is. For this demonstration, I'm just going to use a circle. I'm going to try to center that above my axis here. Okay, now I'm going to go to the rotate tool, click on that on the toolbar, and you see my little star cursor here, or crosshair cursor, and I'm going to put that right in the center of my axis, hold the Option key, and click. And this gives us this dialog box. This dialog box allows us then to input what the rotation is going around that axis. Now, what we have to remember, of course, from geometry is that a circle is 360 degrees around that center axis. So all we have to do is divide as many of our increments as we want by 360 by as many increments as we have, and that'll give us what we want. So if we're going to divide 360 by 12, which would be our hour increments, that would be 30 degrees. So I'll just type in here 30 degrees. And the next step, and everybody always hits OK, and that's the wrong next step. The next step is to hit copy. And we see I've got my next circle in my rotation. Now Command D gives me the next one. Command D, Command D, Command D, and I can go all the way around, and now I've got these 12 symbols that are rotating perfectly equal around this axis. Okay? And your symbol could be whatever you want. I mean, maybe you would have drawn a butterfly or whatever. It's gonna rotate it perfectly around the axis. Now, what if we wanted to do something slightly different? Like maybe we have two symbols we want to use. So let's select this, go to my rotate tool, put my cursor right in the center of my axis again, and Option click. And now instead of putting 30 degrees, I'm going to put in 60 degrees. And say, oh, and hit copy. All right. Now it has skipped one of my hour designations, but that's okay because that's exactly what I want. And Command D, and that gives me increments on every 2 hours going around my clock face. Then I could come up with a different symbol. And let's say this is going to be a square. Right? And I'm going to actually put this in a slightly different spot. So I'm going to make a square. Maybe it'll be a red square. Like this. Okay? Now I can select that and the rotate tool, come back to my center, Option click. And again, I'm going to do this in 30-degree increments, or 60-degree increments, I'm sorry. Copy, Command D, Command D. So then really simply, I've moved this new symbol around also within around my axis. So this is a real simple way to take your clock face dial and make sure that everything is moving equally around this axis, the hands of the clock, to give you your hour increments. All right? So hopefully this is helpful for you, and we'll have more later.